In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a basic shape tween. The first thing I'm going to do, just so that you can see it more clearly, is I'm going to select my fill color, and from the color panel, which you may or may not have, you can add it through the window menu up at the top. I'm going to choose linear, and you can choose your colors right here. Choose the tint and then adjust here. Okay, so for a shape tween, you're starting off with one shape. We've got this keyframe here. You can see that it's solid black so that I know that something is in that keyframe. I'm going to create a keyframe right over here. Right click and insert keyframe, or you can also use F6. Okay, now what this keyframe did is it copied everything from this keyframe to all of these frames in between. Okay, so you want to leave this one alone because this is where you wanted it to start to begin with. So I'm going to click on the second keyframe, drag around my shape, and move it over. I can change the color. If I deselect, I can also bring my arrow really close to the edge, and whenever you see that little bended line, just press and drag it in. And once you've done that, you just right click in between the two keyframes in the timeline, and you're going to say create shape tween. It's important that you choose the correct tween because the other two do something very different. So now if I click on this first keyframe and press enter, I can see it in motion. Okay, now another thing that you can do with a shape tween is you can adjust the speed of it. Okay, so the closer the keyframes are together, the faster it's going to go. The further they are apart, the slower it's going to go. Okay, now if I want to make it slower, I would click one time on that second keyframe, let go, bring my arrow back, and whenever I get that little rectangle symbol, I just press and drag down. So now it'll go significantly slower. A second method of doing a shape tween is if you have your first keyframe filled in, you can come down to that the frame where you want it to stop, or where you want the change to take place, and insert a blank keyframe. Now while you're selected on this blank keyframe, you can come in here and choose any one of the tools that does not have the word primitive in it. So you can choose a rectangle, an oval, or a polystar. I'll go ahead and choose a polystar. So I'm going to drag around it, move it where I want it to go. Adjust my colors. Right click in between and create shape tween. So now the circle will slowly turn into that polystar. Next we'll be talking about classic tweens.